This is Kugan Cassis for IFLTV. It's fight week here in Nottingham. Lee Wood against Josh Warrington. Delighted to be joined quite late, actually, by Ben Davison. How are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. You?
Oh, good. Still had kids' parties there, weren't we?
Yeah, we was.
Yeah, you've done a few. You go a bit like not over the top, but you try and have them like little touches, didn't you?
Try to make the most of them. You're only going to get a few of them, so yeah, try to make the most of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I can imagine these fucking kids' parties getting dearer and dearer as they get older.
I know, definitely. So we need to be careful.
Especially for girls as well, yeah. How is he? How's his mood this week?
Good. He's in a good place. You know, said it at the press conference, but it's true. It's not like one camp's better than the other. Preparation's been better than ever, to be honest with you. He prepares diligently every single time. As I said, he's the ultimate professional. He's like the captain of the gym. He's, you know, he sets the standard of how you should prepare, and yeah, that hasn't changed. I feel like I mentioned it before. That going into the last fight, he'd had a long time off. He had I can't remember what it's called, autoimmune disease or something like that, and so the last camp, although he prepared diligently, it wasn't the best camp. He wasn't as well prepared as he has been before. That's taking nothing away from Kakachi. But this one I feel like he's well prepared, and as I know Josh will be, I know he prepares diligently as well. Another two-time world champion. So, you know, I just think these two, they make for a great fight, and it's never going to be anything but that. So, yeah, stressful for us because we know that, but yeah, great for the fans.
I've said to you before that I've always thought, despite everyone you've worked with, Fury, AJ, Josh Taylor, etc., that Lee Wood was always your most satisfying accomplishment for somebody who hadn't won a British title before he was 30 to go on and do what Lee Wood's done. I've always thought that that would be your most satisfying training path to a fighter because of where he was and what he actually will end up retiring with. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think most satisfying, I wouldn't use that word just because I wouldn't take anything away from anybody else's achievements. Like, they all mean, people often say to me, what's your favourite? Like, they all mean just as much, but I would say it's probably the most significant. Like, it's the biggest standout of, did not expect that, you know?
Did that show your most capability so far in your career?
This is key, and a lot of people say to me, a lot of people often say he wouldn't have done this had he not joined you, and I think it's disrespectful, in my opinion. I think it's disrespectful to Lee, because before I trained Lee, I remember Billy Joe saying to me, he trained, he hasn't had a fight in however long, and he trains like he's got a fight coming up in 2 weeks' time, and he's done that for a long period of time. You know, he's done it. We've supplemented him to a degree in terms of, you know, a little bit more of this, a little bit less of that. You know, these are your strengths. Strip this back from your game. Add more of that to your game. Giving him game plans, you know, double down on this, etc. But we're not the reason. Coaches shouldn't take a thing like that. So
it's part of the reason, though, isn't it? It's not the full reason, but there is an element. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's him, and maybe that could have happened with another trainer, or he could have trained himself and that happened, but that didn't happen. It happened with you. So I know you don't like to be kind of given this kind of credit, but just from the outside, it looks like that match of you and Lee for the last few years, the Reese Mould fight, I mean, years ago, etc., it just all seemed to kind of sink. So you need to kind of maybe accept that bit of credit for his journey, if that makes sense.
I accept that. I do accept that, but I just, you know, think it's important. You know, the fighters are the ones that get in there, all the preparations, all the years. He's worked for this since he was you know, him winning the British title was one of it. That, being honest, is one of my favourite achievements because he'd worked for that since his 30, and I knew that was just a massive weight off his shoulders. That meant a hell of a lot to me. So, yeah, you know, it's great for us to be a part of it, but that's what we are. We're a part of what he's achieved. That's how I'd sum it up.
Obviously, it was addressed today. They're both two-time world champions, etc. What's the end goal? We know Lee's in his kind of, I don't want to say final chapter, but he's coming towards the end of kind of an amazing career. What's the goal? Obviously, you've got this fight this weekend, but is he looking to be a 3-time world champion? What's the goal for Leewood?
I don't think he's looking too far ahead. I think he's just looking at, you know, I've got a big fight on my hands on Saturday, and one step at a time, really, to be honest. And I think he's just focused on making sure that he does what he needs to do on Saturday, and then we'll look back and review and go from there. But you know, we're a few days out from the fight now, and that's the only focus, to be honest.
Sold out, or nearly sold out here in Nottingham. We know about the fans there. It's insane, and we're going to see that on Saturday night. But it just goes to show, isn't it? Like I said to you, this is not for a world title. This is two fighters that have been world champions that are at the kind of final stages of their career, but can pull in crowds like this. Sometimes it just works, doesn't it?
Yeah, they can because of what they deliver. Everybody who buys a ticket knows these two come to fight. You know, they're going to give it their best, and they know that it's a great clash of styles. So, yeah, two great fan bases which they've worked really hard for. Again, I think it's going to be another amazing atmosphere.
Just on my way in there, I just see a certain heavyweight that was loitering outside there.
Big Mo.
Yeah, Big Moses Itauma. That's going to come around really quickly, and it's nearly, 5 weeks away?
That's right, yeah, it does. They always do, to be honest. But, yeah, it's easy when it gets rescheduled to think, you know, it's now set back. But no, they do come around really quickly. Yeah.
But, yeah, just obviously that was, a 2-month delay pretty much, wasn't it? So, yeah, everything's kind of on schedule for March the 28th.
Yeah, that's why he's here. He's come down. Obviously, he's come down to support Lee, but he's come down to stay on it with his own training as well and make sure he doesn't miss any sessions. So, yeah.
I literally on my way here, I watched the clip with Jermaine Franklin's been on TalkSport, hasn't he? Simon Jordan's got some bollocks, and he was telling Jermaine Franklin basically his face is getting knocked out. I mean, we know Simon Jordan, kind of the whole TalkSport thing, but yeah. Is that the priority, that Moses stops Jermaine Franklin?
I mean, the whole reason we've wanted Jermaine Franklin is because we know of his skill set, we know of his attributes, we know that he's took 2 big punches in Dillian Whyte and AJ the distance, and we want to get some rounds. Like, I know it sounds counterintuitive, and you want a hype, you know, that hype to keep building by blowing him away early, but for the development of the boxer, because that's what it boils down to, we would like rounds, and Jermaine, we're hopeful that Jermaine Franklin can deliver that. He's a very good fighter, very good, knows how to look after himself, he's savvy, he's experienced, and yeah, so we'll see. Obviously, we're not going to be disappointed if Moses did get rid of him early, but it's not something we're like, we need to try and get rid of him early. If anything, you know, we've spent a couple of camps preparing him to not just go the distance. We want him that when he does go rounds, we want people to see that, no, he didn't go the rounds and, oh yeah, he looked all right doing the rounds. We see it in the gym. He knows how to go down the rounds, go down the stretch, break the opponent down, and get him out late as well, and that's what we want everybody else to see. One of the things we want everybody else to see that he's got in his locker. Just
my opinion, not being a fighter, clearly. It's one of the biggest lies in boxing, this whole round thing, right? Yeah. And I'll explain why from my perspective, and you can kind of give your thing. Because ultimately, you don't want fighters to go rounds, but you perceive that at some point in their career they will go rounds, so you want them experienced enough to be able to kind of handle going into rounds 8, 9, 10, especially like as he fights for titles into 11, 12. I get that. But really, if he irons him out, no disrespect to Franklin, in a round, like, you're not sitting there going, oh my God.
No, that's what I'm saying. We're not going to be disappointed. But for me, there would be nothing better. And this is the truth. I'm not saying, I don't want him to blow him away early. But for me, there would be nothing better than to see him go into round 7, 8, 9 even. Yeah. Breaking somebody down, then getting rid of them late and showing that, do you know what it is? We know that he can blow people away early, but he's also got the maturity and the know-how of, I can gradually break somebody down. Especially when people think, oh, if I take it, this is what really impresses me in boxing. When you get a style match-up, when people think, yeah, if he takes him down the stretch, this pressure fighter or this rugged pressure fighter takes this boxer down the stretch, but the boxer actually breaks the pressure fighter down the stretch, that's something I love to see.
Okay, but so let me tell you something. So we use that word satisfying earlier. What's more satisfying for you? So kind of what happened with Dillian White, inside a round, etc. It was one round, wasn't it, Dillian White? Is that more satisfying to watch? Or what you just said there, that it goes a few rounds and then somebody who's not known for being stopped at all gets broken down and stopped or knocked out? What's more satisfying for you?
Circumstances, but for the minute where Moses, because we know he can blow people away, and he hasn't had those rounds for, the most rounds he's gone is 6 rounds, and that hasn't been for a long time. I think that for the circumstance where he's at, that would be really satisfying. I think that he would get more out of that. Again, it's about development at this point. For me, with him, it's about development, having him ready, turning him into the best boxer in the world. The second option for me, is, in this circumstance, the preferable one.
Let me ask you, after the win over Dillian White, we saw Turkey put a tweet out straight away, let's make Moses and Usyk now, got everyone talking, etc., etc., which may have been realistic in Turkey's head. The reality of it probably wasn't going to happen. But at that point, when you see that tweet about Alexander Usyk, who is the best heavyweight currently of our generation, to fight your fighter, who just turned 20 or turned 21 a couple of months ago, what goes through your head? Do you think, or nah, that's not right now?
He actually come to me and he said to me, like, would you be happy if they come in that fight, and would you let me do it? So, like, that's something he would want to do. His attitude is, I'm in boxing to box the best boxers in the world, like test my skill set against the best boxers. And his attitude is, Usyk's possibly going to go down as one of, some people might not like it, but in some people may not agree, but some people's opinion might be the best heavyweight ever. Some people's opinion may be one of the best heavyweights ever. Moses' attitude is, he's in close to my era, like paths could cross. I have the chance to test my skill set against, in some people's opinion, the best heavyweight ever. In other people's opinions, one of the best heavyweights ever. He has the opportunity to test his skill set against that, but doesn't want to take that opportunity. That opportunity may not ever present itself again. So, but it's a team thing, management, promotion, coaches, they might not want him to do it, and it's a collective thing. But yeah, his mentality is, he's to be honest with you, he's not bothered who's in the opposite corner.
Well, it's all about Jermaine Franklin on March 28th, and then kind of, we'll see where he is after that. But it's a very intriguing fight to see how that plays out.
How do you think he comes across? If you used to say Moses, what type of, would you say, like a lot of people go to me, he just looks like a stone cold killer. He's got that.
He has got that, but what I do say when people mention Moses to me, like just people in general, like not specifically people in boxing, I just said, like, just chill with Moses. Like, let him develop and let him, like, all this talk of, like, for me, the Usyk fight, yes, I agree with what you said. I just think, why? Like, why now? Like, literally, is he just turned 21 or 20? Just turned 21. It's like, why is everyone like, right, let him fight Usyk, let him fight this person, that person. Just let him have, every other fight had their development, including AJ and Tyson Fury. They were allowed to have those fights at the right time. But now it's a case of like, no, let's stick him in with him. I don't know. I think everyone, it's not about getting carried away. I just think everyone should just chill and let him just do his thing. And let's kind of enjoy Moses and his career rather than go, stick him in now with him, put him in now with him, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense, and totally. And again, you know, I'm telling you his attitude, but promoters, managers, coaches, their attitude not saying it is, may be similar to yours. So, yeah, but like I say, he's just got the mentality of, you know, it doesn't matter who's in the opposite corner, which is the attitude you want the boxer to have.
Ben, obviously, Fabio Wardley, Dubois announced now for May the 9th. Huge fight and fair play to both fighters, but Dubois, I suppose, could have gone in his return fight after the Usyk fight and gone a different route, but Fabio could have accepted a different challenge as his voluntary, so fair play. Yeah,
for sure, and I just think that sums up Fabio, the type of fighter that he is, and that's why he's quickly becoming one of the most entertaining fighters in not just in heavyweight boxing but in boxing. Yeah, he's all out action, and yeah, it's going to be a fight to tune in for sure.
Can't wait for it. It was like a bonus fight for May and Fabio Dubois in Manchester. Unbelievable. What's happening with Alois?
Alois, I think there'll be some news coming out on him soon. So again, it's probably for the promoters to announce, but hopefully some news coming out soon regarding Alois Jr.
Maybe a question for Barry rather than you, but TKV situation is, where's that at the moment?
I think it's for the promoters to announce, but I think there is a fight signed up, agreed, announced, ready to go. So I'm sure his promoters will be putting that out soon as well.
Okay, so I mean the rumours are it's Reactport, but can you make any comment on that?
It's not for me to announce anything.
All right, no problem. Pat McCormack.
Yep, you know, took a step up, took a risk. Unfortunately, you know, what a fight, by the way, what a fight, but fell short. Credit to Conor Walker, you know, took a risk again against somebody that I felt at the time hadn't, you know, he had a couple of losses on his record, but I thought he hadn't ever lost a fight for the losses that I'd seen. A lot of people thought he beat Lewis Crocker, who's currently the world champion. So, yeah, Pat's okay. A lot of experience gained. I think it's a case of not taking a step back for Pat, but just maybe taking another path. Nothing changes, you know. By the end of next year, he wants to be a world champion, and he's just dying for his path to cross with Conor, whether that be on the path or again once they're both there. So, yeah.
Okay, and just finally, have you got any interest in Carl Froch and Tom Fury generally?
What about it? Like,
have you been seeing? Well, they're calling each other, and they're like calling on a fight right now. No.
Come on. Do you think they'll fight?
I don't think the fight will happen, but they're actively. I think who put the video out recently? Froch just put a video out saying like he'll fight him.
I don't know. No comment.
Not make any comment on that.
What would the fight be called? The Sheriff versus...
Cobra? I don't know.
Underneath your... What you think the fight should be called?
The whole situation is insane. We'll see how that materialises. Right, just before we finish, I do want to talk to you about Anthony Joshua. Obviously, it's been a couple of months now, and it goes without saying that Joshua's gone through the toughest parts of his life, and that's not nothing to do with boxing, it's life, in the last couple of months. It's good to see Joshua kind of say, out and about more so in the last couple of weeks. But yeah, just kind of a comment from you on what's been just a horrendous situation, Ben.
It's difficult, isn't it? Like he's a proper fella. Like he's proper sound. Do you know what I mean? He's a good guy. Really, really good guy. And it's tough to see, you know, good people go through tough times. But at the same time, it's tough. You know, like Cena was in my gym every single day for that period, and you know, I don't want to say too much because I don't feel like it's my place to say too much. But you know, like, you won't meet many people who smile as much as Cena, put it that way. You won't meet many people that smile as much as Cena. And a little bit of a funny story, actually. So AJ was sparring once, and Cena was recording it, and AJ come back into the ropes, and Cena's fell off of the ring and fell into the wall and put a hole in the wall. So I had the wall covered up, and but I actually haven't had it painted yet. So it's plastered over, and he had this saying, live for today, pray for tomorrow. Or he said that every single day he said those words, live for today, pray for tomorrow. He would say, every single day he would say, life is precious. Like, he had that mentality towards life. He really did. And I've wrote that saying on the wall where he fell through the wall, and someone I know is creating a little plaque just to go there, just as a one for, you know, out of respect for him, and but also just a reminder to everybody that is how you do. That is how you have to live for today and pray for tomorrow. And you know, obviously I didn't know Lats, like, I met him a couple of times, but two of AJ's, like again, I don't want to say too much because I don't feel like it's my place, but they would like, yeah, left hand and right hand, you know what I mean? They were his. So it's tough. It's really, really tough, and it's hard. Like, people see a certain side of AJ, and they see what he shows, and that's only one side of him, but he's a proper, like, do you know what I mean? People in boxing, people that know him, know what I'm trying to say. So yeah, it's really, really tough, and just can only wish him, do you know what I mean? I've spoke to him, and he knows how I feel, and you know, it's hard. What can you say? And for somebody like that that's seemingly got the world, it's hard to say. Everybody says, if there's anything I can do, but what can you really do for somebody like that? Sure. It's tough. And that was one of the things that I said to him. But, you know, yeah, really, really hard. But, yeah, like I said, I don't really know what to say. But, yeah.
Okay. Right, I'll let you get on with the rest of your night. Much appreciate your time. And we'll look forward to, by the time this goes out, it'll be tomorrow. So it'll be tomorrow night in Nottingham. Wood Warrington. Tune in on DAZN.